Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 20th through the 26th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Aries, this week, let's go ahead and start by looking at yourself, breaking it down. We're going to look at yourself, your relationships, your work, and finances first. So in regards to yourself, nothing major shifting this week collectively for you, Aries. Your ruler is still retrograde in that 7th house, not forming any exact aspects. So it's still reflecting on relationships or cooperation or any type of contracts or partnerships that you might be involved with. But generally, for all of you, probably just a reflection on your interpersonal relationships. And this is what you're learning so much about at the moment. How to have that independent, driven energy that's natural to you and directness in those relationships, but in that balanced way. And perhaps re-examining that area in terms of what motivates you about relationships and how to cultivate your relationships. Now, I do want to say that we are getting close to your ruler going direct next week. He's going to go direct, so there will be this shift. So in many ways, it's a week of finalizing this reflection of both yourself and your interpersonal connections. And it's a good time to kind of lower that energy a bit too and do that more, reflective thing. Now on Monday as well, actually, let's go ahead and talk about, get to the next part, your relationships. So we talked about that light of your relationships, but also Venus has been shifting into your 3rd house since last week. So this week, it's great for, I think, the more intellectual side of relationships, the communication, the inquisitiveness, wanting to do some light socializing, some nice exchanging, sharing those ideas can really go a long ways. And I think you can enjoy a lot of this. In fact, right now at the moment with Venus in your 3rd house, you could enjoy reading, writing, and then again, perhaps a bit of that social energy. But in either case, it's so good to have that open mind, a willingness to share, and that open line of communication as well. All right, so let's go and look at your work here. In terms of your work, it's a big week because the major aspects this week are involving Mercury, who does rule your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is more of your everyday work. All right, and basically what's happening is Mercury is catching up to where the Sun and Venus were during this last new moon. And so if you recall, the last new moon was forming this Grand Cross. So now Mercury is going through this Grand Cross this week. All right, so Mercury, the mind, and this is also involving communications this week. But on Monday, it's important to have this balance because there's been this uncertainty about the future, about your aspirations, Neptune in your 11th house. You know, there's uncertainty if the mind tries to figure out too much about the future things. And this balance this week, particularly on Monday, will be important. And this is the opposition up to Saturn. All right, so when it does come to your routine, when it does come to your work, you want to make sure you're not going just to the extreme of Saturn, which is just the hard work, just the density, that real dense energy of Saturn. But at the same time, you don't want to just go all into enjoying things because there's still a lot of this enjoyment that you likely be thinking about, your values, maybe financial stuff. In other words, you don't want to avoid your responsibilities. All right, and that's the balance with Saturn. It's not going just all into Saturn where it's just all dense and hard work, but at the same time, you're taking care of your responsibility. Finding that balance will be different for each of you in your personal lives, but finding that balance will create this, what will be, I think, a constructive energy this week. Because with the Grand Cross, you guys could be building that routine, building your work in a long-term and meaningful way. Now, if there's uncertainty about it, that's the Neptune. All right, so again, this is about detachment. Letting go a bit can help the energy of your daily sphere flow a bit. And again, all this is relating to communications as well. So balance and attention to that sphere will be important this week, and even that detachment. All right, and then on Wednesday, this one's a little bit easier. This is the square up to the North Node and Jupiter side of the Grand Cross. But still, sometimes there can be an over extreme. If you're feeling overly optimistic about the work stuff, or not optimistic at all, pessimistic perhaps about it on Wednesday, know that there are opportunities here for you to continue to expand in regards to what really matters in terms of your interests, your hobbies, okay, the things that you enjoy in life, expressing yourself. This is such an excellent year for all of that. But it's a week of integrating that into the daily sphere, integrating the self-expression and being balanced with it. If you're feeling too much of a over-optimism, bringing attention to self can help balance that out. If you're not feeling the optimism at all, if it's pessimistic, then understanding that there are opportunities certainly unfolding for you to tap into all these things that are closer to your heart, and they can be incorporated into the daily sphere or into your work. But it's about patience with that Saturn. Again, this is a long-term energy. It's all about building things in the future. But know that the opportunities are certainly there this week and continuing. But I think the opportunities particularly to challenge yourself in a balanced and harmonious way. All right, so that's the most important aspects regarding your work. Now, in terms of your finances, this is going to be that second house again. So you guys are likely thinking a lot about the financial stuff, which is good. This is the location of your last lunar cycle. So some of you may have cultivated, maybe shifted with something new with that. We're still strong in this lunar cycle because we are still in that full moon phase at the beginning of this week. So still great for you to cultivate these finances. You could be learning a lot about them, in fact, with that Mercury here. But again, since Mercury's in that second house of finance and we have all this Grand Cross energy, balance, patience with that Saturn, watching any extremes with that Saturn, letting go, detaching Monday with the financial stuff, and understanding that there's this divine process. Things are in flow here. All right, so this is the challenging energy with this. Then on Wednesday, again, over under extremes. Balance with that when it comes to the financial side of things. You don't want to just go all in to something financial on Wednesday. And at the same time, you don't want to be, too reserved in that. Again, there might be under optimism or pessimism about it. Know that there are the opportunities there, but the opportunities are long term and you're building them this week. All right, so that's a good way of approaching it. In terms of just the general energies, we do have a full moon, which is, first of all, cultivating perhaps some of these financial things that you guys have been working on over the past couple weeks, or in regards to your values or your self-reliance, because that full moon is stemming from this new moon, which was in your second. But the actual full moon is going to be in your ninth house. So on Monday, a lot of you could be gaining some awareness about your life path, your life journey, what's possible in life, really accessing those possibilities. All right, and maybe there's something to be let go of. Maybe there's some old world views. Maybe there's some old outlooks. Maybe some old energy that can be let go, because oftentimes with the full moon, it's a transitionary phase. We can see what's working, what's not, both on the material realm and then also in terms of our life path, and then make that adjustment. What's working, what's not, continue with what is, let go of what isn't. All right, so that's going to be the full moon. It can be very liberating, in fact, maybe spiritually, because it's trining up to that Uranus in your 12th house of, again, that detachment being something that can liberate you. So that's Monday strongest. The sun is also shifting into your third house, again, emphasizing this focus on learning, reading, writing, sharing. All this is great this week. Now, the last aspect of the week, a very important one, in fact, Jupiter trining up to Pluto, is going to be in orb all week long, but especially as we approach the weekend. So this is about change, and this is about changing particularly our worldview. And again, it's all about this self-expression. So as you come to this awareness on Monday about where you can expand your horizons, where you can tap into that adventurous spirit of life, that real life energy, as the week unfolds, you can channel that into that deep, powerful change. Channel that into your self-expression. Because again, this is where the opportunities are. This is where Jupiter is, and there's a positive aspect this week with Jupiter in terms of you cultivating maybe some of your interests, your hobbies, but all in all, just expressing yourself. All right, and that can be a very powerful thing this week. All right, so I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.